Hello, garden lovers. How are you today? It is Friday, um, almost 7 o'clock, I think. Um, so, of course, our time has changed, daylight saving time. So, we still have plenty of sunlight left for the day, the rest of the day. And I thought I'd give a little video. I'll do a little video because it's been a while and I missed you, and I hope your garden is waking up like mine. So that's what I want to show you today. Just little things that are coming up. I've been so impatient. I come every morning and see, especially the hostas. I I couldn't. I wanted to plant some shade lovers in this bed, but I can't because I don't remember where the hostas are and the ferns. So every morning I come out here hoping that, you know, they've shown their heads, and they haven't. And actually, we had a frost um, warning last night, and it's gonna happen again. And they're thinking about maybe next weekend we're gonna have some flurries. So I mean, that's how it is here in my zone in the southeast, and so we can't do nothing about that. So all we can pray is it's not going to be too harsh, and that would be hopefully the last. Our last frost date is April 15th, and I know it's not far away, but the weather usually raise its head, you know, at that date or right before it. So no control. So I, like I said, I have hostas. This is the hosta garden, and no hostas showing up yet. Although this longwort, it's actually the pink variety. I don't know. It's the light. All of a sudden, when I decided to film, the sun is shining brightly. But anyway, so I planted it late in the season last year, so it's about to open, and I'm so excited about that. So that's gonna contrast with the hostas, which is right about right there, I think was Empress Wu, and then the heuchera is also putting out some new leaves. I think this is the guacamole. No, twist of lime. I'm gonna put that back in there. So it's a twist of lime, so it's kind of limey green. And yeah, no hostas, and but the vincas are, they're usually they look good this time of the year because of their new growth, and then when the heat gets here, they kind of look sad, but they're very tough, so I'm not worried about them. So there's actually a couple of blooms. If you can see the blue vincas around there, and then the heuchera, actually the two, I think they're like the timeless night, and they stayed that size and sort of semi-evergreen all winter. So yeah, so nothing there. And then, as you can see or remember from my last video, I moved this pot from over there to over here to sort of make an entrance to the sunny border. But over here there are just some hellebores, and then I planted some, I gotta go around this way. I planted some plants in that my thrifted or my estate sale urn, as you can see. So I actually have, I'll show you what's behind it. It's a fern and a heuchera behind it. And then this one is a dark hellebore. It's pretty young compared to the others. As you can tell, it's gone over, so but it was really dark. It was beautiful when it first bloomed. And then I have those shamrocks that they just come in and out. When it gets hot, they kind of die back, and then when it cools down, they come up and then they bloom up pretty pink. And so, okay, let me go here and look at the other side of the urn. So this daffodils here, it's a big clump, but it didn't bloom. I think because, I don't know, I kind of covered half of it with that planter. So I don't know, maybe it got mad, but it's there and it's pretty big. So one of those things. And then this horny goatweed or epimedium, it doesn't look too pretty right now, but at least it stayed green all winter. And that's also late in the season. Last year I planted. One of the plants that I wanted to plant here, because this is a dry shade, so, and epimediums, they love dry shade. So here's the wood fern and the heuchera, and then of course this one is I just drew a blank, one of the spring flowers. But anyway, I got that from the department store, no, not department store, grocery store. And so I'm hoping that the fern, because that flower is gonna go over and it's not gonna flower anymore until next year. But I'm just gonna leave this urn kind of simple, just green. And but the hole is all the way down. It's pretty far from the top, so I'm hoping that it would keep the water longer, and so the fern would love it in there. And there's another heuchera that just came up that was semi-evergreen, and it's putting out new growth, as you can see. There's actually a few other things coming up in there. It's just too small right now. And so we go over here, and I'm not done cleaning up the garden yet. Like I said, I usually wait until our last frost is over, so you know, because like the bees and some insects, they kind of take shelter under the leaves. And so nothing's going on anyway, so I'm just gonna hold off cleaning completely until around the second week of April. And so growth is coming in for the limelight, lots of growth, so I'm glad. Then of course the abelia over there, that should be getting a little tad bigger this year. It should be, it's its second year. And then there's irises coming up, and actually have some buds. They're the white variety, so they're always the first one to bloom, the white. And so there's a hellebore there, and then another limelight, and there's also I don't know if you can see those guys, is the Verbena bonariensis, which is it's gonna get really tall. See the old stem right there? It's kind of tall, see? So sorry, my nails are dirty. I was planting one of the catmint that I didn't plant last year, and it was just hanging out, and it was doing okay. And then here's the Fema pincushion flower. I think that's Fema. Let me see what it is. Fema white. So pincushion, also known as scabiosa. And then I have the Fema. It's F-A-M-A blue. And I don't know why they're not doing anything. I mean, as you can see, the salvias are, look how big they got in just a couple of days, because they were not here a couple of days ago. But those are, I don't know, maybe it doesn't like it there. So let's find out what it's gonna do, and then push come to shove, maybe I can dig it up, or maybe we're gonna lose it, because it should be bigger by now. And so yeah, that's all that's going on in the sunny border. And so on the right side, the sunny border, the verbena is actually blooming. So this is the homestead, which is hardy in our area. This is where they're actually discovered. And so yeah, it has a couple of blooms, but it still have leaves as well that I haven't taken out yet. And then that one over there is a gora. It's a dark leaf gora, so that's gonna be beautiful with its wiry stems. So you know, looking like the flowers gonna look like butterflies flying around, because the stems are really wiry. And so I lost that gardenia. It's the new variety gardenia, and it's supposed to be hardy in my zone, but it didn't make it. So a lesson learned. And then this is the Caradonna salvia. So I bought him from online, on an online catalog, and they were tiny, and look how big they've gotten just from going over winter and then coming up just a couple of days ago. And then of course my very special favorite is the Helenium. So I mean, you know, it looks like it's gotten thicker, but it's still short. But it's a very hot weather kind of plant, so it's just gonna wait for, you know, high temperatures, and then it's gonna shut out. And then also the flowering quince has gone over. It was full of blooms, but we had a storm, very high winds, and it just blew all the blooms, and also still with the leaves around it. And then here, the oat grasses are coming back. So I was happy about that. So there should be 3 of them. There's 1, and then the 2 are over there. And then this is also another homestead. I don't know if... So what happened to this guy is I kind of planted it a little high. So I don't think that's gonna make it. But that was my fault. So totally my fault. And then this one is, I think maybe this is a Poquito Agastaki. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but it is. It's the orange Poquito, I think it was. And then of course the thyme ground cover for the Japanese maple. And look how it's coming. The leaves are coming out. And this is the viridis, or viridis like green. So, but when they first come out, they look a little maroon, and then they're gonna turn green. But the stem is kind of, this is not the orange stem variety, but it's just a pretty green, and it's kind of has a yellow tint to it. So she's gonna be beautiful, hopefully giving a little shade in this area right here, which I was also surprised to see or find out that the daylily, which is the purple deoro, there's a yellow deoro, came back. I was worried because I split him. I had 3 deoro and I split each in 2. So I should have, I think I had 5. 1 I just planted. Maybe that's why that one is bigger. But I think 1, 2, 4 came back. No, 5. I'm sorry. Oh, so everybody came back. So that's gonna be purple in there. And then there's gonna be an orange Agastaki over there. So that's gonna be a nice contrast with the purple. And I also throw in some black bread seed poppies everywhere. I don't know if they're gonna come up. They're supposed to have to go through, like a cold winter, and then that's how they germinate. But I don't know, I just took a chance. I kind of threw them in there, and right before we had another frosty date, so I was hoping that would have been enough for it to germinate. But so it was, it was just a couple of dollars. So if anything, maybe next year I'll do it the right way. I put it in the fridge or in the freezer for a couple of weeks, then start it indoors. And so these are also the monardas in here. No, this is actually yeah, the monarda. I think they're dark purple. So there's 3 of them, and so they're also planted late in the summer. And then in the back are there should be some butterfly weeds in there as well. They kind of come up late when when it warms up. They need warm temperatures to kind of come back in. They don't like cold. And so yeah, so this is just that's a David Austin Boscobel rose. And so, and then over here are just some plantings of, you know, bits and pieces of, there's a you know, just stuff that I actually had, which one of them is coming back. I planted some natives in here, so that's a native, and so I don't know what else is coming up, but also the hellebore is in there. Okay, so so this pot right here, I have some seeds like the red rooster seed, not seeds, grass, and it should be coming back. And this is also a anemone. I'm hoping that it's gonna come back, so I'm not touching anything in there yet. So the pansies and the jump ups are still looking all right. I just deadheaded it earlier today, so they should continue to do something. And then this one, I just got this saxifrage. I think I'm gonna plant it in there by itself. And in here I have this I don't even know, I can't remember the name of this weed, but it's in the pea family, so it's gonna give off nitrogen to the soil. So I'm leaving them there, and it will also have purple, beautiful purple flowers. So I'm gonna let them stay there until I'm pretty sure that everything is either made it through the winter or not, or they've died. So this is actually a dusty miller, the small leaved dusty miller. Let me see if you can determine it, the dusty miller leaf. So this is like a miniature, and it kind of spill a little bit. So so there's a couple of things in there, so I'm just gonna leave them there for a minute. And then also in here, I thought that was a pretty wasted space, and so I thought I would get some grasses, not the huge tall varieties, maybe like the hamiln. You probably don't know what I'm saying, but unfortunately the grasses are really not out in the stores yet. So as soon as they're available, I'm gonna get some, maybe 3 in there. I can even move those rocks and unuse this space as well, here as well, because yeah, the path is right there, so there's plenty of space really to put plants in. Of course, I'm moving this pot. It has a something in there, and it's actually I planted this ground cover for, I can't remember what was in there, but something will be coming up. It's a perennial that's in there. I tell you, it's always a surprise, like, oh, I forgot about you. So a nice surprise every spring of what's coming back. And then there's also an anemone coming back there. I don't know if you see it. So anemone needs shade, so this limelight hydrangea should shade it. And then it has wiry stems where the flower is gonna come out, so it's just gonna go through the limelight when it's ready to bloom. And then more hellebores by the path. And then my climbing rose, which is the generous gardener, David Austin. is coming along. I'm not pruning it because it's a climber. And then I finally move or install my little candelier in here. It's actually like a toll, like a Chinese, like a Italian type of creation, you know, but it's not. It's just a, you know, metal candelier with like ivy leaves, and then you put the candles in there. So I'm gonna see if I can find some solar light to sort of go in there, so at night it would look like a fairy light. And then also, as you remember, I acquired these two tall blue pots from an estate sale. So I planted it with this pulse gold fall cypress. So my intention is to kind of make it spill down, because it will. It's sort of like, it's not really a low growing, but it's like the weepy variety of fall cypress. And I thought it's a nice combination with the blue. And then also, once some spiller plants will be available, I'm gonna put some in here to kind of cascade down. So those are the two pots right by the gate. And then in this garden, yeah, it's just muscari, and these are the agastaki. They're the blue variety. One was there. I don't know if that's coming up. It's not looking too hopeful, but it's all right. It happens. So lots of muscari, lots of leaves. There's some sedum that needs to be, this bed needs to be cleaned up. The thalia needs to be cut back. And then of course, the butterfly garden. And so I acquired these two concrete pineapple, and I kid you not, I paid $2 each for those. It was like the last day of the sale, and I thought it would make a great entrance marker to the entrance of the butterfly garden. Of course, this guy keeps falling. Just have to step on it. So lots of things is gonna come up in this butterfly garden. I know it's pretty pitiful looking right now, but you wait and see. And then also my sedum bowl, as you can see, it's coming back, but some did not make it, but that's okay. And then this is a catmint, I think it was called Nana. So it's like a miniature. So it has tiny leaves. And then that's the butterfly bush. It's yellow. It has yellow leaves. And there's the grass coming back up. And then in here, I actually have erigeron, and I thought of putting it in a pot, hoping that it would be a good idea for it, and so it will come back, but it doesn't look like it. I have another one on the ground, in the ground, and it's coming back actually. I threw some seeds in here. They're veggies. I forgot what seeds I put in here, but they're coming up. So I have to look at my packets, seed packets. And then those are what are they? Anyway, I don't even know if those are really them, but ranunculus. So I had quite a few, but only those, what are those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 came up. And I have another false cypress that I don't know where to put yet, so I just put it in this bucket. That those are like vintage buckets that I got from estate sales. And then of course this Sweet Francis rose is looking good. She really got so big in less than a year of being in the ground. And so so this is the another butterfly bush, the pugster. So it's a short miniature butterfly bush. And then so I don't know, don't laugh at me, but I think this is gay feathers. So I can't remember. I put a couple of things in there. I moved the border actually forward to make some more room, get more planting rooms, and I didn't label them, so I know I'm very bad, but maybe before the year is over, I actually bought some little flags, so I'm gonna put flags everywhere I have something planted. That way, you know, I won't forget. And also put labels on them. So lots of seedlings coming up, but of course there's gonna be zinnias and cosmos and dahlias and things, and of course the black cohosh that I got from Tennessee Nursery is getting really big. I got it like as a bare root. So I actually had 3. They gave me 2 extra. I paid for 1. They gave me 2 extra, and 1 was in there in that little pot. So I don't think it's gonna make it. And the other one I put in my little Japanese garden in the side of the garage. But there's 3 hostas in here though. They made me so happy that they came up. So this one, see? So it's coming up. And then that one in there. So that one is a guacamole. And then and it's the same as this one. And I think that one right there is a Biqua drinking gourd. That's going to be a big blue hosta in there. And then these are a tad smaller than the Biqua, but it's still going to be big. And then this is also another red rooster that I cut back. So of course the ajuga, I just move them around because they just multiply to kind of make it into like ground cover. So they're everywhere in here, just either ground cover here. So there's some ferns are coming up in there, and then there as well. There's actually more than that in here, but that bluegrass, blue fescue, it stayed blue all winter. So, and then that heuchera is also water. Yeah, I'm watering because hubby actually spread some seeds, reseeding the lawn. Okay, people, move that way. Hold on. Ooh. So he's reseeding the bald spots. So I thought I would water it for him. You know, just do stuff for him to make him come out and maybe like garden one day. And so this is my first spring container. It actually is not looking too good right now. So this pot, I left this tag to show that this was put on sale by Pike Nurseries for $50. This used to be a $2.99 pot from Italy, and so hubby gave me 2 for Valentine's Day. You know, I told him, don't give me flowers, just give me plant, but he gave me money, and so that's what I bought. And here's another red rooster. I just love them, and it's little right now, but as the season progresses, it's gonna get bigger, and it's kind of like give this pot lots of texture. And then I put ranunculus, and the storm really just sort of, if you can see, just we had really strong winds. And then, but underneath are liriope, and it's gonna cover a part of the pot, and that's gonna give it like, you know, like a grass, like it's growing in the middle of a grass. Of course, liriope sort of resembles a grass, and so that liriope clump has been there for years, and so I cut him back before. This is actually the first year that I was ahead of cutting back the liriope before new growth are coming out. So but anyway, so I have blue atlas cedar in there, and then this spiller, it's actually one of the steppables that you put in, you know, in pathway cracks, but I thought it would spill down just for, you know, for the spring. Of course, I'm gonna replace that with something else when it gets warmer. And then also I got this today, actually this afternoon, this little trellis. So that was $3, and it has a fleur-de-lis finial. So I just stuck it in to give it a little, you know, front aesthetic to that pot. So the ranunculus actually I got from a pot, like it was a round, you know, planted pot that some stores sell, like a ready garden. And so the ranunculus that was in there were like a mix. So there's this beautiful dusty rose, and they're gonna continue blooming until it gets really warm. And then I'm gonna dig it up and then replace it with something for the summer. And then I also have this Iceland poppies. They were yellow, but I think they're still gonna bloom. See, there's a couple of buds, but I want to leave the seed pods in there. That's why I didn't kind of deadhead. And then I have the sedum ground cover in there to sort of contrast the dark leaves of the Georgia blue, I can't even remember its name. All I know it's Georgia blue, because that's why I got it, because we live in Georgia, and they're so cute. And so that's what I planted in that pot. So there's a yellow ranunculus with the red as well. And then, of course, the poppies are done. And then I stuck this dusty miller in there, just to give it sort of a contrasting color to the green. So yeah, that would be fun, picking out summer plants for this pot. I can't wait. But I was really happy with it. I wanted a very specific evergreen in there, but actually it's not available where I live. It's available in the Northwest, which is like Seattle, North California area, Oregon. So I settled for the blue atlas, and it's all right. It has sort of the same growth habit, and it's just not too friendly. It's it's prickly. The leaves are prickly, but anyway. So this is the other side of the sunny border, and so there's another Gora, the dark leaf Gora. The peony is getting tall and just coming up from a couple of days ago. The midnight in Paris rose with its thyme ground cover. It's a variegated thyme, and it stayed evergreen. There's a salvia in there. I think that's a pink salvia. And there's another Gora. And then here's a pincushion flower. No, Stokes aster. Stokesia. And then those are the pincushion flowers, the three of them. And then some more Stokesia coming up. I don't know if you can see. They kind of like, it looked like they got disturbed and they're just growing wider than this. So that's gonna be fun. Another Stokes aster there. And then this one is another Gora, which is the same dark-leaved variety. So yeah, that is what is happening in my garden. So I hope you guys are out and about and checking out what's coming up in your garden. And so it's getting dark, so I'm gonna end this video. I can't wait. Tomorrow probably those flowers gonna open, and maybe I'll make a short and then I'll show you guys. And also those that Eugenia topiary in there. Of course, Eugenia is not hardy in my zone, so I'm gonna replace that with a beautiful slow growing smallish evergreen. So I have some ideas, but I will sure to share it with you when I decide what evergreen I'm gonna put in there. That way, this is actually the second year that I've been planting Eugenia. I just consider it as an annual. I mean, maybe if I planted it in a pot and put it there, I could have moved it into the garage, but I didn't. So I want to make that into a permanent, some type of, pretty something, pretty evergreen or a topiary. So until next time, garden lovers, Take care of yourself, and I see you again somewhere down the garden path. Bye.